hurt this thing if I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you want to turn it off, you just turn it off. It's not like he wants to stick around.
Yeah.
Well, Corey's big thing was, with the animals and stuff, while he was at home or family's or friend's house, when he was interacting with the animals, it was fine. But unfortunately, when he went to the farm and he had a meltdown, it was, the animals were easy pickings, so to speak, which was a real shame because he's not like that normally. Like, we weren't seeing that, and I was quite genuinely shocked and upset to hear it. And then afterwards he spent a lot of time that night in tears, really sad and upset. And I said to him, the only thing is, when you're dealing with a live animal and you have those emotions, that animal's going to be hurt if you don't check your emotions. Whereas with, the robot, they can just, hold it, or just, they don't have to worry that they're going to lose control of their emotions. And, yes, well, of course they've got to be gentle because it's a robot, but there's still not that fear of hurting, a human or an animal, or, so that there's a little bit more, not resistance, but a little bit more ability to just, express those emotions without fear of, the repercussions. So,
Or hurting the animal.
Yeah.
Or the animal responding.
The animal
them.
responding and hurting them.
If they want to yell at this...
Yeah.
This robot, it's not going to answer back.
No.
It's not like a person. It's like, it'll make it, squeaky noises and stuff like that, but it's not going to answer back like a person would.
Yeah.
It's like, I can yell at this thing,
and then continuously be hurt, because for us, one of my things was when he was younger, and he would have real meltdowns to the point he would hurt me. I'd be sad for the rest of the day because for one, I'd usually be in physical pain. It got to the point where he actually hit me with a water bottle and I nearly was unconscious. I would be carrying that with me for the rest of the day, whereas the robots, you can yell at them and they're going to, that's nice, there's no effect there. Yeah. Whereas for me...
There's no response and there's no judgment, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They also understand they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you're going to throw $8,500 around the room, you think about it.
Yeah,
because that's what's coming out of your spending money for the next 50 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, yeah, there's that.
There's a consequence that, the now robots, they're $17,000 each.
Yeah.
So they have an understanding of that because they're told, but we wouldn't give it to them if they were highly aroused anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you wouldn't want $8,500 flying across the room.
No.
Can you see any potential issues or barriers to using these robots?
On the flip side to the emotional stuff, I guess, there is that whole, you freak out, you don't want robots to be replacing humans. And yes, they do have a spot, but you don't want them to, the kids or anyone else to respond coldly because of it. You don't want that
to become robots.
Just to become robots, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That was my biggest worry with all the technology stuff coming up. Not just the robots, but technology in general just coming up. I'm seeing a few things that teenagers in general are going through.
You said that was your biggest worry?
Yeah, I'm starting to see that it's not as a big a deal if it's kept in check, but that is still a worry if it's not. Yeah. You need to have good people around that are still flesh and blood people to say, hey, wait a minute, this is enough, because that's my biggest thing is that you don't want them to replace the everyday interactions. It's just a added bonus, I think.
Yeah, very important. I agree. Any barriers?
Pretty much
the same.
Pretty much the same is, you know, they're never going to replace people as much as they're going to try down the future, and hopefully, you know, it's a long way away, but with technology growing like it is, it's going to be here rather sooner than later.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that they still need to have the contact with people so that they do know the difference that, you know, yes, robots can show a little bit of emotion, but humans are completely different. You know, we show emotion in a different way that is to the robot, that you need to understand the difference between, yes, they can help you, but also your parents can, or your family can help you as well.
Yeah.
You don't need to turn to technology all the time to sort out your problems. You got a problem, come to a person.
Yeah.
Instead, you know, yes, they're good to learn with, but also, you know, I mean, Thomas, like my family's very family orientated anyway, so I'm lucky like that. Thomas will talk to me about the robots, we did this and we did that. So great. And then he'll go, how was your day, Mum? He'll completely change subject.
Yeah.
So he's got the balance there to know the difference that, okay, this is what we do at school. And, you know, Mum's at home and she's interested in what I'm doing at school. So he's got the balance there of knowing the difference between technology and spending time as a family.
Yeah, so you're saying it's important, and that needs to come from the teachers, from the parents, etc., that they understand that the robots are a learning tool and they're there to learn and they're there for a limited time and they're not everything. Yeah. And outside that, there's other things and that has to be reminded.
And I think the boys just need, you know, someone to go, so they can rant and rave and just go, we did this. And then it's like I said, Thomas will come to me and he'll go, how was your day, Mum? Yeah. You know, once he's finished telling me what he's done.
Go to the next thing.
Pretty much just changes the subject and then it comes to something else.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I think is important because he needs to know that I'm listening to what he's doing at school and he's interested in knowing what I was doing. So he's got the balance there now to understand learning, home. Mm-hmm. So he knows the balance, that he doesn't need technology all the time, that he likes to spend time with, you know, his family, so it's great.
Okay, that's good. Have one or two more? Yeah. One more is, there's a lot of this idea of novelty with technology and with robots, where a lot of people say that this is beneficial because it's just a different technology than what they have at home. Yeah. They really like to use and they really get into it. Yeah. But after a little bit of time, they're not that interested anymore. Yeah. Here, mainly with Thomas, but both, because Scott has been using robots for a year, and Thomas for 2 years. Have you seen if the initial excitement of the first time when he saw them in the screen or the first time he saw them at school has gone down, has gone up, or they just still as happy to work with the robots?
With Thomas, it's like, oh, we got robots at school. It's like, sweet. You know? But it hasn't gone up or down. It's gone up, well, we did this with Sam. Sam did something new. You hear about it. But the novelty hasn't worn off. It's because it's always, I mean, robots can be reprogrammed. Yeah. So they can learn new things. So the kids are not going to get bored with that type of thing because they're always learning different things. And they're not having to do the same thing, because you can teach a child in a different way the same thing. But it doesn't have to be the same way because robots can be reprogrammed.
So it's not the robot, it's what the robot does that is exciting.
Yeah, so like, I mean, Thomas is very sciencey type young man anyway. He always, you know, has liked that type of thing. So the novelty for him would never wear off because he's into that type of thing. He's always been into, you know, sciencey type stuff ever since he was, I don't know, long time. So then that's what I've been basing it on. It's like, you know, sciencey type stuff. It's like, well, let's make this and let's do that and let's see what that can do. So him having the interacted with Sam and knowing that